is ready to crochet Frankenstein with me. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, you guys. It is Casey from Crochet with Casey, and today we are making Frankenstein. He is probably one of my most favorite patterns that I've ever made. And today for our materials, you will need red, black, purple, green, and gray yarn, as well as a 5mm hook, polyfill, a darning needle, and for me, scissors are optional, but get some scissors. You'll also be able to find the written pattern to Frankenstein linked below on my Etsy, and then you can also find my Instagram as well, so you can get some more free patterns. And don't forget to look at the rest of my YouTube channel for some more free tutorials. So let's get to it. First, you're going to pinch it in between your two fingers, and then we are going to wrap it around and make an X. And then in that X, you're going to slide in your hook, wrap that yarn, and then pull it through. And then you're going to do that again. You're going to wrap that same yarn and pull it through itself. And that is a magic circle. Okay. And so now that we're here, inside that magic circle, you're going to do 8 single crochet. So you're going to insert your hook. Oopsies. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through, and you're going to do that 8 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to close your magic ring. With mine, I find if you work the stitches down separately and then you'll work your way up, only with chenille yarn, it seems to close the best. Obviously, I'm struggling right now. That just seems how it goes with tutorials. Okay, and now for row number 2, we are going to be doing 8 increases all the way around. So you are going to start in that first stitch. You're going to insert your hook. You're going to yarn over, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through just like that single stitch, and then you're going to do that again but inside the same stitch. So that was 2, yarn over and pull through, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And now for row number 3, we're going to be doing a single stitch and an increase 8 times until we end with 24 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3. So again, single stitch for 4, increase for 5, 6, single stitch for 7, increase for 8, 9, single stitch for 10, increase for 11, 12, then there's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So now for row number 4, we are going to be doing almost the same thing, but we are going to be doing 2 single stitches and then an increase 8 times until we end with 32, and that's going to be the last time we are increasing for a hot minute. So here is the first single stitch, second single stitch, and then an increase for 3, 4, 5, 6, increase for 7, 8, then 9, 10, increase for 11, 12, 13, 14, increase for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, 25, 26, increase for 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. Now we are going to be doing rounds 5 and 6. So it's going to be 32 single stitches all the way around for both rounds. So I'm just going to count to 64. You guys can just skip ahead. If you don't want to listen to me, I apologize. But that's just how my brain works. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then remember you're inserting your hook through that stitch, yarning over and pulling through, and then yarning over and pulling through again. 10, there's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. We are going to be doing rounds 7 through 10, so that's 4 rounds, and they're all going to be the same. So we are going to be doing 5 single stitches in black. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to color change on that last one. So instead of yarning over and finishing pulling through here, we are going to grab our purple, and then we are going to just take it between our 2 fingers like this and slide it over and then pull through. So that was 5. And now you're going to be doing 10 single stitches in purple. So there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and again, we're color changing on the last one for 15. So you're going to take that black. I kind of like to pull it up close to my project on the side like this, just so I know I'm not making it too tight. And then you're going to do the same thing. Pinch it over and then yarn through. That way you will have this mess in here, but if you make this too tight, it's going to pinch and it's going to look a little weird. Okay, and now we are going to be finishing the round with 17 single stitches. So we just ended with 15, and now we just gotta get to 32. So there's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So now after that round, this is what it should look like. And then I'm only going to show you one more round out of the 4, and then I will just meet you at the end. So here is the first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, you're going to stop and color change on the 5th one. There's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then remember on 15, we are going to grab our black and slide it through for 15. And then we're finishing this round again with 17. So there's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So that is what rounds 7 and 8 look like. So now do the same exact thing for 9 and 10, and then I will meet you at the beginning of round 11. We are beginning round 11, and I'm going to just break this up in pieces, especially written down here, so it's a little bit easier for you guys, but this is what it should look like, and I'm going to break it up into colors. So first we're going to do this black, and then purple, and then this black. So for the first black, we are going to be doing 2 single stitches, a decrease, and another single stitch. So here is 1 single stitch, 2 single stitch, and then decrease is where you insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then insert it in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3, and then another single stitch, and this is where we color change. So now you're going to grab your purple, and then here we are going to be doing a single stitch, a decrease, 2 single stitch, a decrease, and then 3 single stitch. So here's 1 single stitch, and then again a decrease is where you insert the hook, yarn over and pull through, insert it in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of them. And then, so that is 6, and now 7, 8, and then again a decrease for 9, and then 3 single stitches, 10, 11, and then we're going to do a color change. 12. Okay, and so now we're going to be doing the next black section. So it's going to be a decrease, a single stitch, a decrease, and then we're going to do 2 single stitches and a decrease 3 times. So we're at 12 now, kind of tightening everything up. And then here we are with our decrease. So through that stitch, pull through the next stitch, pull through. There's 13. And then you're going to do a single stitch for 14. Decrease. 15. And then you're going to do 2 single stitches. 16, 17, a decrease. 18, and then 2 single stitches. 19, 20, and then a decrease. 21, then 2 single stitches. 22, 23, and then a decrease for 24. So that was round 11, and now let's get on to round 8. You can see where his shirt is now, and it's starting, it was straight here on the sides, and then it is slowly going to be going in up at the top for his collar. So now for like round number 12, we are again going to be doing it in pieces for black, purple, and then black again. So for the first piece, we are going to be doing a single stitch, a decrease, and a single stitch. And that last single stitch, we are color changing again. So here is 1, and then decrease for 2, and then single stitch for 3. And then now for the purple, we are going to be doing a decrease and a single stitch 2 times, and then you're going to do 2 single stitches. First decrease. Make sure you're pulling everything all tight so it's all snug. And then here is a single stitch. And then another decrease. And then a single stitch. And then 2 single stitches. So here is 1. And the last one we are color changing again. For 2. And now for the next black part, we are going to be doing 2 decreases, and then a single stitch and a decrease 2 times, and then a decrease again. So here's the first decrease. Here is the second decrease. And then single stitch, decrease, and then again, single stitch, and then a decrease, and then last decrease to make 16. We are almost done with the purple, so now we're going to be doing number 13, and it is front loop only, and then after this we can fasten off the purple, and we are going to be done with it. So front loop only, we are going to be doing 3 single stitches in black, 6 single stitches in purple, and then we are going to do 7 single stitches in black. My audio cut out here, so I apologize, but it will go back to normal. Both, like that whole stitch, if you pull it through, you can see that there is like a little gap in there. It's a little hard to tell with chenille yarn. If you want, you can hook it in between this way, or you can just slide it up this way, whichever one is easier for you. So there's 1, 2, and then 3. Again, we are going to be color changing. Pull everything all nice and snug. And then that was 3. Here is 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 we are color changing again. This one you can actually fasten off, so if you have scissors, I recommend scissors because I am starting to get like a little callus here from doing that repeatedly, so I don't recommend. It also can cut your fingers. But then color change for the last time. Oh well, and for now. And then that was 9, and then again, front loop only in the black. And then pull everything to make sure it's snug. There's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so lied, this one's going to be our last color changing. So after this one, no more color changing for a hot minute, but you're going to grab your green and you're going to slip it on there and color change for 16. And then again, fasten off. I personally like to weave in as I go, just because it is a whole lot easier than trying to weave in afterwards. But for this next part, for row 14, it's easier for me if I flip my work inside out, and then if you do flip your work inside out, it should look a whole lot like this. Totally fine because nobody's going to see it, and it's just going to help add some stuffing. We are going to be working in the unworked back loops that we just had from row 12, because we did row 12, and then 13 was in the front loops of row 12, and now 14 will be in the back loops of row 12. So they're going to be right next to row 13. And we are going to be doing 16 increases, and we are going to be ending with 32 stitches. So there is 1, 2. Also, if you flip it inside out, it will help pop a little bit more. I don't know if you can see this little ridge right here. It's probably a little bit harder to tell on camera, but you can pop it and see that there's a little divot here, and that's just right where you're going to stick your hook. So there's 4, 5, 6. Gotta try to figure out how. Oh, there we go. 6, 7, 8. You also want to make sure that all of the extra strings are on the bottom part of you working, otherwise they're going to kind of be on the shirt of him and it would look a little funny. There's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But as you can see here, that they are sandwiched together, like they are hand in hand. I just like that personally. I think it pops a little bit better because right when the next row is going to be our last row increasing, and it will make the collar pop down and it will look really, really nice with his jacket that we also will be making here shortly. Since I stopped counting, I gotta go back. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, again, my audio cut out, but now you can flip it right side back in, and then we are going to get on to row 15. Or wrong side in, I should say. And then this is what it should be looking like. Don't worry about all of the fuzzies if you're working with chenille yarn with me. We are going to lint roll that off in a little bit, but that's what it should be looking like. And then now here is a good point to stop and stuff. I am personally not going to be doing that right now just because the stuffing is not right next to me. Now round 15 is going to be 3 single stitches and an increase 8 times until we get to 40. So it's every single 5 is when you restart, if that makes sense. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 is an increase. And then 9, 10. So here is 11, 12, 13, increase for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, increase for 19, 20, then 21, 22, 23, increase for 24, and 25, 26, 27, 28, increase for 29, 30, now 31, 32, 33, now 34 and 35, and then last set 36, 37, 38, and then increase for 39 and 40. Okay, so in my previous videos, I just kind of counted out the whole entire rounds for this next part with you. I'm not going to do that. It just takes so much video time up when most people just skip it anyways. So rounds 16 through 22, which is 7 rounds, is going to be 40 single stitches. Personally, I'm just going to count to 280 because that's what it is, but I will see you at the very end of round number 22. 1, 2, 78, 79, and I did forget to say on the very last stitch we are color changing to black. Okay, so now this is all going to be done over voiceover for the fact that my microphone died literally now and didn't even realize it. So now we're going to do his hair. We just did our color change. You can fasten off, and then to do his hair all in black, we're going to be doing 12 single stitches, an increase, 18 single stitches, another increase, and then 8 single stitches. And the increases are going to act kind of like the square corners of his forehead, just because Frankenstein does have more of a square head. And as well, since the voiceover is now cutting out, I am just going to let you guys watch and count on your own. And I hope this is better for you. Please let me know in the comments below if you would rather have me count or if you rather have me not count so I know what to do for future videos. Okay, so now that we finished that, I did get up and I got my stuffing. So I'm gonna go ahead and stuff the body now, just because in the next part we are going to start closing up his head. So if you already stuffed, awesome, because I do normally stuff before I actually start doing the green, but you know, it just wasn't near me. So stuff as much as the body as you can if you haven't with me. And then we are going to go ahead and add in his eyes. Here you could see I like to feel around with my hands. I can't remember who I learned this from. It was either on YouTube or on TikTok, but she says close your eyes and feel around with your hands because then you'll feel the gaps. I feel another like gap here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. Um, I think this is such a great idea, and I really wish I knew who I got this from because I love this tip. I think it's absolutely amazing because you will feel it instead of actually seeing it because your eyes can play tricks on you. So now we're going to go ahead and add in our eyes, and you're going to insert your eyes between rows 18 and 19. My eye size that I normally have, I do not have. I ran out, so we're going to use these smaller eyes. Um, I don't like the way he looks as much with these smaller eyes, but it doesn't look as bad as he would have, in my opinion, with felt. If you are making this for a young child, like 3 and under, it is not recommended to use safety eyes, so please keep that in mind. If you are doing it for them, you gotta make sure that you're using felt or embroidered eyes or even crochet eyes. But just keep in mind that it is not recommended to use the safety eyes on young children. But I am trying to figure out what colors. I think the silver would look pretty good on him, so that's kind of what I'm looking for is a second silver. And then I like it about 6 stitches apart, just so there's enough room to be able to sew in his nose later on. Alright, so now that we have got his eyes in and I finally got my body stuffed, we are now going to be doing round number 24, I believe, and working in round number 24, we are not going to go in normally like that. We are going to be working in the back post only. And what that means is the post that you made from being able to do a normal single stitch is what you're going to go through. So you're going to go in the back way and then through the front way, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through both stitches, just so it kind of pops out a little bit better, and then a normal single stitch. And so then you're going to do that again. You're going to go in the back way of the next post and then the front way over that same post, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through again like a normal single stitch. And so I'm going to show you one more time. So go through the back way and then the front way, of the same exact post, and then yarn over, pull through, and then you want to yarn over and pull through again. So you're going to be doing that the whole entire row, making sure that you have 42 single stitches that are worked in the back post only. This stitch is pretty cool. If you ever want to make a waffle, I made the cutest waffle pillow that the cutest little girl got. I'm gonna have to make myself one though to keep because I told myself I was gonna keep it at my last market. But if you ever want to make a waffle pillow or a waffle literally anything, waffle blanket, waffle anything, or just have a waffle stitch, working in the back post only is part of that stitch process to be able to make a waffle or a waffle blanket. And it is so much easier than it actually looks like. So trying it here in Frankenstein's head is going to help you get prepared to be able to do that for a blanket or a pillow or anything like that. And then here you're going to also make sure you pull apart the 2 stitches in the increase, so you're not going to go over both of them on accident. You want to make sure you go in between both of the posts that made the increase. Okay, so now that we're done with that row, you can see how it's already flat here because we are creating a flat top for Frankenstein because his head's more square. And now we are going to be doing 2 single stitches, a decrease 9 times, and then going to be doing 5 single stitches. So we end up with 32 stitches at the end of this. And now that we have finished that, you are going to go and stuff the rest of the head. You don't want to do too much because the rest of the rows will be decreases, so we can make his head as flat as we possibly can. Because you can always go in at the very end and stuff some more, but kind of get the majority of it stuffed, and then after we do all of our decreases, go in, fill around, stuff him some more, and then make sure you can look with your hands. Okay, so for round 26, we are going to be doing 16 decreases in total. I personally do the regular decreases. It's up to you if in also the yarn you are working with. You can also do all of these decreases with the invisible decrease just to have some extra coverage. If you have a looser tension, if you're using a smaller worsen weight yarn, or just a smaller bulky weight yarn also. Okay, so now the last round of his head, we are going to be doing round 27, and it is 8 decreases. Again, if you want to do the invisible decrease, you are more than welcome to do that. But I'm just going to be doing the normal decreases, how I showed you guys earlier. And then after I do my 8 decreases here, I am going to stuff the head completely before we fasten off. Okay, so now after we have stuffed the head, you are going to go into each individual stitch with your tail. And I like to go, since it's 8 decreases we did, I like to go through 4 stitches and then pull tight and then go through the rest of the 4 stitches. You also can do this instead of going through the whole stitch, do the front stitch, like the front loop only of the stitch. Again, your personal preference, whatever you think it is looks the best and will not leave any holes. And then after you do that, you pull it tight again and then you weave in your ends like normal. I personally like to make sure that the top is flat, so if you need to go over the circle that we just closed to make it more flat, do what you need to do. I also think doing this with my hook instead of a darning needle is so much easier, since chenille yarn sheds, it just doesn't shed as much. So now I just kind of look around, make sure he looks all good, I squish him all around, and there you have it. Now we are going to move on to his legs. Okay, so now for doing his legs, we are also going to be doing another magic circle, and inside that magic circle, we are going to be making 5 single stitches. I use the magic circle for literally everything, but now here it is. There's 1, then you go through the circle again for 2, through the circle again for 3, 4, and last one, 5. And then you want to make sure that you pull it tight and it closes. This one closed so much easier than the first one, and then it's just going to get easier from here for me. And then round number 2, we are doing 5 increases, so we end this round with a total of 10 stitches. Okay, so now round number 3, we are going to be doing 2 single stitches and an increase 3 times, and then another single stitch. So we have 13 stitches at the end of this round. Okay, so for this next round, we are going to be working in the back loop only, and you are going to do 3 single stitches, 3 decreases, and then 4 single stitches. So you are ending this round with 10 stitches in total, making sure you are working in the back loop only because it will help you later on be able to add the detailing back into his foot, so it actually looks like there's a difference between his shoe and the bottom of his shoe, so you can actually see the sole of the shoe. Okay, so for the final round of the leg, we are going to be doing 4 single stitches, a decrease, and then another 4 single stitches. And then you want to leave a long tail for sewing and make sure you stuff the foot. Please either go to the chapters that should be here at the bottom of the video, or you can go to the description below and poke on the legs. Either way, they will take you back to the beginning of this leg section, so you can make another one. Just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do 2 legs on camera. But if you could see here, you can tell that the bottom is a little bit more flat. So afterwards, when we go into detailing, it will be able to enhance that. I will show you that later on. Now we are starting the arms. So to start the arms, you're going to grab your green and make a magic circle. And then inside of that magic circle, you're going to be doing 6 single stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you want to make sure that your string isn't tied up or anything, and then you want to pull it tight. Again, working down each stitch is a little bit easier for me than just trying to pull all the way. And then for round number 2, we are going to be doing a single stitch and an increase 3 times, ending this round with 9 stitches. And before you officially finish that last stitch, we are going to be color changing with black, so just slip it on there and then pull it through. And now for row number 3, we are going to be doing kind of a special color change, I like to call it. It's an invisible color change, and we are doing 9 single stitches, but with this, you're going to first yarn over and pull through with the green, and then yarn over and pull through with the black. And then we're going to do that again, so yarn over with the green, and then once you pull through, you're going to yarn over and pull through with the black. So again, insert your hook, yarn over with the green, pull through, and then yarn over with the black. I kind of went through the same stitch there, as you can see, but there we go, yarn through, and we're going to just keep doing that all the way around until we get 9 stitches. For round number 5, I believe, is where it's going to make sense on why we did an invisible color change for the arm instead of a regular one. So now round number 4, we're going to be working in the front loops only, which is an increase and a single stitch 4 times, and then finishing again with an increase, and this time you're going to be having 14 stitches at the end of this round. Just like we did on the head, we are going to be working with the inside out. And here it is, round number 5. You can see that we are going to be only going into the back loops of round number 3, which is black loops only. And we are going to be doing 9 single stitches in the back loop only. And now you're going to fold it right side out, and we are going to be doing the last row, which is row number 6, and you're going to do 9 single stitches in the stitches that we just made. And that way it is minimum of green possible showing through the black of the collar of his arm, or the cuff of his arm, and then the black of his actual jacket of his arm. That's just how I personally like it. And then at the very end of this row, you're also going to stuff it. And then make sure you go to the chapters here on the video, or go into the description below into the chapters and poke on the arms section so it can take you back to the very beginning of the arms, so you can work with me again, just because for the sake of the video I am not going to show you how to make the second arm because it is the exact same thing. So stuff it, leave a long tail for sewing, and then I will meet you in sewing his arms and legs onto the body. Okay, so now we are going to take our body and we are going to attach his arms and his legs. Again, I like to have these stuffed first just so I can actually see where I'm going, and I do like to do this between rows 10 and 12, which would be like about here, this last row before the collar, and then down 2. I also like to have it about 9 to 7 stitches apart, mainly just the purple, but 9 to 7 stitches apart. I do kind of like to have a little bit of the black showing, but not too much. And if you guys are coming back from a previous tutorial that I've had before, I don't have like official sticks like the amigurumi sticks yet, but I did decide that I was going to make my own, and I'm going to be doing that with these double-sided knitting needles. I'm just gonna like design like something to put up here, but I think this is like gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to I'm just going to start on the right side and then I will do the left. You can always just do one arm at a time. You don't have to have both of them pinned together. I've preferred them this way for about a week and a half now. I usually only do one arm at a time, but I do like to see if they're going to be symmetrical or not. And now, just for the sake of the video, the rest of it I am just going to speed up for the arms. Okay, so now we are going to be sewing on the legs, just kind of like we did with the arms. We are going to use our sticks to insert them. I already have mine already on the sticks, stuffed. Make sure that you have them stuffed, and then we are going to be going between rows 4 and 7 from the bottom. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 4 here, 5, 6, 7. And then we are going to have about 2 to 3 rows in between. And then they're going to be parallel from the arms, and then about to the corner of the purple, but with a little bit of the black showing. Probably about 10 stitches or so, 10 to 12 stitches in between both of the legs. And then again, if you do not want to insert both sticks at the same time, or don't even have sticks or needles or anything to hold them into place, you don't need to actually have the sticks to do this part. Like I said, I just started doing this maybe like a week and a half ago. So Again, for the sake of the video, I am going to just speed up the process that you are going to watch here so you can just see everything be done. But I do like to go through the leg first and then out into the body and then over and over again, just so it kind of looks a little bit more flush. Something here that I do like to do to make the sole more prominent and more flat is I like to, after I sew on the leg, I go through the magic circle and then I go one stitch over, or you can do vice versa, go one stitch over and then through the magic circle down. But from here you want to go down and then pull it tight to make the sole of the foot more prominent. As you can see here, it's a little bit more round since it's not sewed on or anything, and then this side is more flat. That's just how I love to see the feet. Again, it's a personal preference. You don't have to do that, but now I'm going to speed up the rest of it, and I'll meet you at the end of sewing both of the legs on. Okay, so now everything is sewed on. We are now going to do the jacket. So doing the jacket, you can work into the body. I think it looks better if you just do it and then sew it on. But we are going to take our yarn and we are going to make a slip knot, and you are going to do chain 9. And then again, make sure you leave a long tail for sewing, because you're going to not only sew up, but you're going to sew down, just so there's no lip of the jacket and it looks a little bit more flush. So make 2 of those, and then we are going to sew them on. So where we are going to sew it on here is right in the color change area. So if it's not as perfect like mine kind of looks, how there's a little bit of purple in the black, you were just covering it up anyways, so it's going to look great at the very end of this. So now you are going to go and sew this on. I personally like to go through each individual chain on one side and then through the body of each individual stitch, and then down the other side of the chain and down the other side of the stitch. So for this process, I'm just going to speed it up again, but just so you can see what I am doing. And now that you sewed the jacket on, we are going to embroider his nose on. This one is super, super easy. I kind of wish I would have known how easy this was before, but you know what? You guys can learn here. So what we are going to be doing is between about rows 17 and 18, about a stitch down from the eyes, you are going to insert anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the side I did, but it has to be about 3 stitches apart. I kind of went a little too far with my tail here, so I'm redoing what I did. And then you are going to do 3 stitches apart, and then you're just going to embroider, which means like going in and out of those 2 stitches 3 times. That is it. That's all we're doing for his nose, and then you are going to weave the ends in, and then we're done with the nose. So after the nose, we are doing his scar. You can make this in a different color. It doesn't have to be red. I personally have mine in red just because I think it looks the cutest. And I have it for all of my zombies and Frankensteins, but if you want to do it in black or blue or even purple, like whatever color you want, do you. But so grab that color, mine's red, and then it doesn't matter exactly where, but it is going, I like to have mine on his left hand side, and then up to his hairline, and then down diagonally. Doesn't matter how many stitches down. If you want it to be only 2 stitches down for a tiny scar, or like 4 rows down for a massive scar, like do whatever you'd like. I just personally like to make sure I am covering both of the ends here, like you can see, and then I am just going to go down and diagonal, and these lines are kind of going to be straight, kind of going to be a little diagonal. They're all a little bit different, and since it is handmade, all of my Frankies are different. Actually, most of my plushies are all different, with little details like this. And once you decide where and how many scars or cuts you want him to have, you want to make sure you meet up right where you inserted it. And then you are going to tie the 2 ends as tight as you can together. And then you are just going to tuck them in and hide them. And last but not least, we're going to make his bolts. Super easy to make his bolts. You're going to grab gray, and then you're going to make a magic circle. Inside of that magic circle, you are going to be doing 5 single stitches. And then for rows 2 and 3, you're going to just be doing 5 single stitches. So I'm just going to count to 10 because that's how many single stitches there's going to be. So you do whatever you need, but then after this, you're going to lightly stuff it. I mean, you can firmly stuff it, but I personally like it lightly stuffed, and then leave a long tail for sewing when you fasten off. And then again, just for the sake of the video, go to the chapters, poke on the bolts to make it go back to the beginning, or in the description below. And then now to sew them on, you're going to go in between rows 15 and 16 and then just sew them through. I also like these parallel with the arms. You don't have to have them parallel. That's where I personally think they look best. You can have them a little bit in front of the arms, like whatever you want to do. And there you have it. There's our little Frankenstein. I still have to lint roll mine, but he's so squishy and so cute. And if you guys like this tutorial, make sure you like and subscribe, because every single Friday I will have a new tutorial coming out. And also check out all of the other tutorials that I have. I have so many other Halloween ones out right now. I just think this one is probably my favorite. I'm gonna go make him in a jumbo. Again though, you guys can also find the pattern on my Etsy if you would rather not watch the tutorial all the way through, or send this to a friend. Use my link below and send it to a friend. Then make sure you guys come back for every single Friday, and then I will also be having some Tuesdays new videos for tips, tricks, day in my life for crocheting, and a whole bunch more.